Good morning. Welcome to K-12 Next Generation. I'm Miss Tracy, and we're going to do our second lesson in our Wilson reading. In our first lesson, we looked at the vowel sounds, and we looked at the board and saw that the vowels were in orange, and we talked just very briefly about the consonants that were in white. In looking at the vowels, we learned what the letter was, what the key sound was, and the sound. And we know that when this is shown to us, we say A, apple, eh, as in the words cat, nap, tan, eh. The next vowel was E, Eddie, eh, as in wet, pen, ten, eh. The third vowel was I, itchy, I. Words in with the I are pig, win, hit, I. O, octopus, ah. Stop, hot, log. U, up, ah. Gum, run, rug, ah. So I'm going to point to those on my board, and I'd like you to tell me the letter, the key word, and the sound. Okay? This is A, apple, eh. And this one is E, Eddie, I. This is I, itchy, I. And this is O, octopus, ah. And the last one is, very good, U, up, ah. Excellent. Okay. Now we're going to look at the vowels, the consonants. They're the ones in white. Oftentimes we tend to put vowel sounds on the end of consonants when we talk. And so we have scissors that I use to try and make sure that we cut those vowel sounds off and don't add them onto the consonant sounds. For example, oftentimes I hear people say ba, ba. Now you can even tell from my mouth that I'm adding an ah on there, ba. So I need to take the scissors and cut that ah off so that the B says b, b. And you can even see the difference in my mouth, b, b. Okay? So if you hear yourself adding some vowel sound onto the end of the consonant, get the scissors out and clip that sound right off. Okay? So we're going to review what these sounds are now. Can you say them with me? This is a B, as in bat, b. C, as in cat, k. D, as in dog, D. F as in fun. Notice the F is just against your teeth. G as in game. G. H as in hat. J as in jug. J. J. K as in kite. K. K. Now, did you hear another consonant that had that same sound? K. Do you remember what consonant it was? That's right, it's the C. C also says K. They have the same sound. So if I'm asking you to tell me what letters make the sound K, you would say C, K, K, K. Okay? They have the same sound. We're going to be practicing that in a while. So our next sound is L for lamp. L. L. And we have M for man. You probably could think of good. N for nut. P for pan. This is a Q. And you probably don't see it written like this. You probably just see it all by itself. But did you know that Q, written like this, doesn't have any sound? Because Q is really what we call a chicken letter. It does not like to go out anywhere without a U with it. And so it hides. And if there's not a U around, it won't go out and it won't spell a word. And it's interesting because its sound is got sort of two sounds too. It sounds like a KW. Q says, like in queen. So that might take a little getting used to because it has that two sound. Can you do that? Good. Remember, Q is the chicken sound. It will not go anywhere without U. So we write it QU. The next sound is R, as in rat. R. Always the hardest one for me. I don't know why. It's hard to get my mouth around that. R. Rat. Then we have S, as in snake. Just exactly what a snake says if it wants to go away. Snake. S. T, as in top. Top. V, as in van. And if you do it right, it's going to tickle your lower lip because it vibrates. Van. W, as in wind. This is probably the hardest one for my students in Africa. So I told them to get a candle out and to blow the candle out when they said W by going so that you feel the wind on your finger. W. X. X is another one that actually has two sounds. And if you say the letter X, you can hear those two sounds. X, X. Oftentimes when we're writing a word and we like box, we hear the X and we end up writing KS, when in reality it's just an X. X, X, as in fox. or box. Notice that's at the end of the word. X. Then you have Y as in yellow. Y. Y. Y, yellow. Later on, we're going to find that this also has some vowel sounds. But right now, we're only going to look at it as a consonant. Y, yellow, Y. And the last but not least is Z as in zebra. Z. And that ought to tickle your tongue too. Z. Z, zebra. So now you have learned all the sounds and letters that are on this board. You're going to want to practice those. And when I come back next lesson, we're going to review them, and then we're going to practice a drilling with them where I'm going to point to them and you're going to say the sounds, and then I'm going to say the sounds and you're going to point to them on your board. So by the third lesson, you're going to want to make sure that you have your board ready. Those of you who are members of K-12 Next Generation, you have the materials already and have been working on making your boards. So I hope they're done. And others that don't, it's pretty simple just to get the letters and cut them out or put those letters on a plain card. Just remember that you want to color code them so that your vowels are on an orange card and your consonants are on a white card. And then you'll be good to go. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. You have a good day. Take care.